Speech off.
Hey everybody, this video is the follow-up to another video I just made about color perception, and I wanted to show a little bit about what I see with color. This is my kitchen right here, and what I'm panning over to are double windows that look outside. It's very gloomy and rainy outside right now, but the color of the kitchen is what I really wanted to focus in on, and how the colors go together and how a blind person might have picked out or chosen this decor, which is what I did. My husband is so accommodating and says whatever you want is what we're going to pick out. So I go to the paint store, and since we're starting in the kitchen, I chose just a kind of a cheerful green to go in the kitchen, because if you look out our double windows during the day, you'll see a lot of greenery out there that's probably a little darker green, and some foliage and flowers and a fountain and things like that. So I just wanted to bring that greenery in, and I know that green is such a neutral color when it comes to a place where you're eating and food and how people feel about what they're eating. And green is one of those colors that actually will not make people barf, hopefully. It's not a competing color with food. It's a natural color, and it goes well, I think, with our trim, which it's all antiqued woodwork. It's old. Our house is it's over 125 years old. But anyway, it's got some, the woodwork is what really pops. It's all painted a white, an antique white color. And so I thought, well, the green would go nice with that. And the green also would go nice with the floor. The floor is something that we really didn't want to change. I'm going to pan down to that. And we weren't going to change. It is a dark stained oak. And so our kitchen floor is a dark stained oak. And when we redid the kitchen, I wanted white cabinets so that they would not be, we had maple cabinets here, and they competed just horrendously in my mind's eye with the oak floor. There were two different color stains, and they were two different grains, and I just didn't like the way it looked. So I wanted the cabinetry not to show the wood grain that the floor showed, and not to compete with that. So I chose white cabinets with a black granite countertop and a green backsplash. And so the way that I had to do it, the way that my mind had to make this right in my mind, is that once I knew that the cabinetry would be painted, and I knew I didn't want it to be stark white or optic white, because this house is old. It needed to have a little toned down color, but for all intents and purposes, these look like white cabinets. But what I did is I had the paint company, the paint mixer man, put 1/64th green into the white paint. So that's what toned it down, not 1/64th yellow, 1/64th gold. I could have done 1/64th black. I could have done, and that would have given it a grayer tone. But it has an ever so slight hint that there may be some green somewhere. So for people to have great color perception, they're going to pick up on that cabinetry just absolutely goes wonderful with the backsplash, which has got green and kind of an almond color in it. And then the back, the black granite countertop in the sunlight has these beautiful striations of the same green. So in my mind, when you step back and you look at it, if you're just looking at it from a simplistic point of view, you've got a dark oak wood floor and some white cabinets and black countertop and a green backsplash and green walls. But when you really analyze it, everything ties together because the white is toned down with green, and the black granite has got beautiful green striations when hit with sunlight, which comes through the kitchen windows. And then the backsplash is the green, which you see. And for people that have, you know, really good color perception, the white cabinets go nicely with that. And we have just kind of a long kitchen, so it starts way over there, and it's about 11 or 12 feet wide, but then it goes all the way to the eating part of the kitchen, which the length of the kitchen is 32 feet. But down here at this end, where the table is that we eat most often, is just a white painted table with a white painted hutch at the end of the room. Now those were a pine, a very, very light pine when we bought them. And it just did nothing with an oak floor and maple cabinetry. It just looked like a hodgepodge to me in my blind viewpoint. So the white, which is again a toned down, it's not stark, it's not optic white, but it's got just ever so bit of a green hue color to it to tone it down a little, but you wouldn't know that the green is what's toning it down. And then I've got red accents because the rug that's underneath the table is black, and it's a really, really soft, a very soft Persian-y feel, and it's got black and reds and some flakes of golds with yellow, and so the upholstery for the chairs has black. We found this upholstery, and my husband reupholstered the chairs. He didn't know how to do it, and my aunt came over and they spent an entire afternoon reupholstering these chairs after he had painted them all white. So the white and the black, I love the contrast because to me it's just a juxtaposition, you know, white and black, then red. It's almost like the way I dress. And then I found dishes that have the exact same colorway in them, and people look at my dishes and then they look at the accents, the red placemat and the red candles on the silver pedestals and the red rose in the middle of the table that was a gift to Jerry and I years and years and years ago. Anyway, it's sentimental. And then they look in the china cupboard over there and they see these dishes that have the same colorway as the rug and the table and the chairs. Now there's no green. Well, there is a hint of green in these dishes. Now see, my memory tells me there is a hint of green in these dishes, and it doesn't match this room, but it complements the room. So it's a little bit more, I think it's a darker green color. And if I'm incorrect in that, then I need to rethink the plate. But the plate has got all the colors. It's got a little touch of yellow, which now pops in this room that's got white and black and red, and basically green. And one of the things I wanted to do when we did the kitchen here is I wanted to come over here and see. Now, if you were a guest and you were at my house and you were sitting, and we have lots of people over sometimes, well, several times a year, we have lots of people over. And so I thought, okay, what would they see from this perspective? I know if they were sitting on that side of the table that they would see outside and they'd see a beautiful view. But if they're on this side of the table with their back to the window, I want their view to be as pretty as it can be. And when we moved into the house, we had that archway. There's a big 8-foot tall archway that's on my left that goes down a hallway into the back foyer where you come in the house. And that was already there. But that archway on the right, we made because we had to kind of bust through that wall. That wall was solid, and we wanted to make it a dining room that adjoined this kitchen. So from this place where you're looking at, just the green wall of the kitchen, what would complement that beyond the green wall, because the archways are open. And so I picked out a blue color that goes down this long hallway on the left, so you can see, or one can see, blue beyond the green of the kitchen. And then into the dining room, one can see the deeper green, which is your basic crayon 8, primary green color. It's called pasture green, but it's I'm hoping that you can see it from here. And I'll go around the table and get closer to it. But the dining room is a pasture green color. So as you're getting closer and closer to it, it's an interior room with no exterior windows or doors. And so I just wanted the room to be cozy, intimate. It's not a huge room. It's not a small room. It's about 17 by 17 maybe. And then there's a double fireplace. I'll get closer over to that. There's an old fireplace because the house again is old. And the mantle is about 7 feet tall. And then there's a beveled mirror with columns on either side. And then the lower mantle is about 4.5 feet tall. And then the surround that goes around that fireplace is green. It's got green. The original subway tile that came with the house is green. So I figured that tile and the off-white, almost white, but a little bit off-white woodwork of the mantle would go nicely with the green. Let me see if I can get like the green wall, which is just a real pure, basic primary green. And so that's how I chose that. And then we have an oriental carpet in here. And the furniture is eclectic, so it's got some dark woods and some rosewoods and some, I'm not sure what color wood you would call this, but it's nice and eclectic looking to me. So I kind of liked that idea with the hodgepodge. Right now I have a blue, a dark blue. It's not navy. And again, I have to memorize this. It's not a navy blue, but it's a very dark blue tablecloth on the table. And I haven't set the table yet, but then there's it's blue willow china pattern that's got a gold rim around it, and it's blue patterned on the plate itself. And then I have it sitting in a gold charger. And then in the middle of the table, which again, I haven't set yet, but there are blue oriental vases with gold accent trims. And then over on the fireplace, there are gold pedestals with candles that are lit on the mantle. And there's some green statues that are like Middle Eastern statues that my husband got, and they're the exact same color green that's in the mantle surround. So I have to memorize all this stuff, but I'm fascinated by this stuff, and I try to coordinate it. And then if it's coordinated, if things go together, there's an antique mirror on that wall over there, and it's got a gold frame around it, and that piece of furniture, which is a buffet, right under it. It's about 5 feet long, and it's got lots of drawers, which is why we use it in here. But it's got brass pulls on it that tie in with the gold on the antique mirror. And that window there was original to the house, but it did look out onto the back of the house, and now it just goes into that hallway that we just saw from the kitchen. But the color is the important thing that I thought that when you're in this room, you don't really think about looking out into any of the other open spaces, even though there are, no doors on the entrances to this room. But what you really see is the green, and the green to me, and it's a darker green. It's a primary green, but that means that when you put it on the wall, it's a darker feeling, that you get a more cozy feeling, and the green doesn't compete with any of the food that anyone would be eating in there. So that's, I'm closing up. This is our little doggy gate that we put up to keep little Gretchen out of there. And then this is the blue hallway, and this blue color, this hallway just gets you from the kitchen to the foyer, and this blue color is the exact same blue as the blueberry bud that's in here. I've done a video on that before, but the blueberry bud, which is a really rich hue of blue in here, because there's more lighting in this room. It goes outside, and there's double doors that are always, lighted when it's not a cloudy day. Anyway, the hallway here is the same color, but with a white added to the blueberry bud to make it the same color, but just a different hue. And we did that on this room here, which is our central hallway. You might have seen a video that I did straightening the oriental carpet, or in this case the Persian carpet. It's an area rug, and I straightened it, but this has got the original pine floors, which are stained darker, and then the paint in here is the same as the blueberry bud, but if you could see both of them, you would see that this is a lighter blue, and the blue on that wall is a little bit darker, because this wall here has no exterior windows. So I just thought, let's paint it the calming color of blue, and that's what I really wanted, is a calm color, but something that would just grab you when you walk in the door. There's the oriental screen, and it's got different colors in it that go with the rug, basically golds and things that go with this rug. And but the blue of the walls is what I was striving for, that would make the white woodwork just kind of pop. And then the study, I'll show the mantle of the study, because to me that's kind of what dictated the color of this room. This is called taupe wood, and I just absolutely love this color. I can't see the color, I just see it in my head, and it gives me a feeling. But the feeling that I get from it is a calming, kind of a cozy feeling. And the mantle surround, the tile work on this original fireplace is goldish yellow. And so I thought, well, the paint would have to be kind of, in my mind, it needed to be kind of a warm color, not a cool color. So to me, the taupe wood went with all the dark, the wood that we have that has the book shelving, and the other pieces, the desks, and there's a roll top desk at the other side. Hello, Gretchen. Hey, girl. Come, Gretchen. Come. And let's see. So the front of the house has got exactly the same color as the back of the house. It's a blueberry bud, and it was picked out because it's calming and it makes the white woodwork pop. But it's the feeling that I was going for. when we were talking about repainting all this, because when we got the house, it had been remodeled. Their plaster walls behind the sheetrock. This is sheetrock wall, but behind it is plaster, and there are 12-foot ceilings, and all the walls have been painted the same color, which was called sugar blush, which wasn't an ugly color. It was just, it was all the same, so each room was the same. And to me, it didn't do anything for the white woodwork. Now we're going into the TV room. There's an archway. So if I back up here, here's the doors that you come in from the driveway. It's not the front doors. This is actually the back door. But the first thing you do is you come into this TV room, the den, and I wanted it a nice, cozy, again, a cozy place to sit and watch TV. There's a lot of copper in here, dark woods, almost like a mahogany, not even mahogany because it doesn't have a red in it. It's got the dark oak stained floors, but they're dark. And so we went with the taupe wood color for this, and a person that has very keen color vision on a sunny day can actually see the touches of a hue of purple in this. And the way the light cascades off of the wall, it's purple. But all other times, to all other eyes, it's just a nice neutral, well, taupe is like a mixture, I believe, of browns and grays and woodsy colors. So this, you know, it had exactly the feeling that I wanted to draw out in this room. And I'm thinking that from what from the feedback that I've gotten from so many visitors, the feeling, you know, is exactly what I got. And then right back to where we started from, the kitchen, there's a big wide archway that if you're sitting in the TV room, you can look straight into the kitchen. So again, I wanted all the colors in the kitchen to not compete with this taupe wood, and vice versa. The taupe wood in this room not to compete with what's in the kitchen. And so they all, to me, blend together. And if it looks good in my mind, then it looks good and I don't bother anybody. Now, if it doesn't look good in my mind, if I don't think it goes, I will bother the heck out of. Probably my husband is usually the person that gets it, but I'll worry him until the colors in my mind are what they should be. This is the last room on our tour of color, but this is a guest bedroom, and I chose yellow for it because there's no other yellow in the house, because I absolutely love yellow, but this is like a moonlight yellow. I don't know what it's coming across on the iPhone, but it's when the sun is out and it's hitting it, it's not a bright, stark yellow or a balloon yellow or a banana yellow. It's probably a true yellow with a lot of white put into it to make it more muted. And it also allows the white woodwork to just pop against it. But because it's a guest bedroom, I figure you can't go wrong. It gives me my yellow color, which I needed. Sometimes I just need to come and sit in a yellow room, you know? I don't know why. But it's a nice room for a guest room, because the guest doesn't live in this room. They just wake up in a pretty bright room, and then, you know, they're here for a few days or one day or whatever it is, and then they're on their way. So they don't have to live in a yellow room, but it's just a very cheerful place to be when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, because it's still with the light off. It's a cozy looking room. It's just nice and cozy looking. So I thought, well, that's exactly the mood, the emotion I was going for. This room here is just a little foyer area, and it's painted the same taupe wood color as the TV room, except it's got more white blended into it. It's the same taupe wood, but I blended white because it needed to go with the taupe wood. It didn't need to compete with it. But this room doesn't have any exterior, this little foyer area doesn't have any exterior light source. So it needed to be a little bit lighter, I thought, just to get into the bathroom, which is taupe. And the that room is a bedroom, and it's blue, and then the yellow guest bedroom. And then, of course, none of those you can see from this TV room. So I really wanted to make sure that with each room, people got a different experience with different colors, but that all the colors went together. And for whatever reason, that is so important to me. And I can't see the color, so I can't explain any of that. I just know that that's part of how my mind thinks. So I hope this has been a very colorful experience. and probably we'll talk about color throughout all of my videos because it's such a part of what I do, even though it's all in my mind. It's not through my eyes, and the colors that I see are perfect, and they're not distorted. So it's a really pretty world that I live in, even though a lot of it's in my own mind. So until I do another video, I hope everybody has a great rest of their day or evening or morning or week or wherever they fall, whenever they watch this video. And take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.